Hello students, today we are going to start the next chapter, that is conservation of plants and animals. In this chapter, we will be studying about the various harm caused to the nature by human activities and the steps taken by government to protect the ecosystem and how we can conserve the nature. Before heading towards the topic, let's just see through the word. What do you mean by conservation? What do you mean by conservation? Yes, conservation is the preservation. Preservation. What do you mean by preservation? To take care. So what does conservation mean? To take care of the environment. To take care of all the living beings, all the ecosystem. It's our duty to take care of all these things. But in other way, we are harming the nature and causing harm to ourselves also. So what are the activities that humans follow by which the nature is harmed? Yes, what can you see over here? Yes, here there is a mountain and it is full of trees. And what has happened over here? Now in this areas there are no trees. When there is no green, what does it mean? The number of trees is being removed, or the trees are being removed. This process of cutting the trees for various human and using it for various human activities and destroying the forest. What you can see here, the total forest has been destroyed over here. This process is known as deforestation, where the forest is totally being removed. And nowadays you can hear the Amazon fire, the fire in the forest. It's in news. What happens to that? In that, the whole the forest catches fire, and due to that around 50 hectares of land is lost, or the forest is lost. Not only the trees but also the animals, birds, insect living in that forest die due to this fire. This fire is also caused mainly due to various human activities. We can see these are some of the reports that we get. Around 50,000 hectares of forest has been lost in this fire. So due to these activities, what are the consequences we have to face due to deforestation or due to this fire? What are the consequences we have to face? The consequences are, when the deforestation occurs, there are less number of trees, or the number of trees are reduced. We also know that the trees are used in forming oxygen that we breathe. So due to this, what happened? The amount of oxygen in the surrounding increases. Carbon dioxide increases. And what happens? There occurs a issue known as global warming. The temperature increases, pollution increases, there's a disturb in the balance of nature, groundwater level decreases. How groundwater level decreases? Because when there is no trees, there are no roots to hold the water, and when there are no roots to hold the water, there is a lowering in groundwater level. There is soil erosion, water holding capacity of the soil is increased. So all of this, the land become barren. Now you cannot grow many trees. The land becomes like a desert. The process due to deforestation, the land becomes desert, that is known as desertification. Due to human activities, the land becomes desert, that is known as desertification. So these are some of the consequences that has occurred due to deforestation. So with the increase in the temperature and the global warming, the government took various steps to conserve the nature. Let's see what are the steps that the government took. So for conserving a forest, the government has set up biosphere reserves, wildlife sanctuaries and national parks. So the government has set all of this for conserving the forest and the wildlife, the trees, the people living there, the animals that are living there. So we'll be studying about each of this one by one. So first, let's study about the biosphere reserve. What are biosphere reserve? They are large area of protected land. Means a very large area, hectares and hectares of land are being protected. Not only so it's protected, means it's animals, the people living, the tribal people living there, they are also protected. So it's a very large area that is protected. So there are many, around 11 biosphere reserves in India, in which we are going to study about the Panchmari biosphere reserve. So the Panchmari biosphere reserve is in Madhya Pradesh, and it has a national park and two wildlife sanctuaries. We'll study about what is a wildlife sanctuary and what is natural park. So what is a biosphere reserve? It's a large area of protected land. Now these are some of the biosphere reserves that are in India, and it's this here the names of state and here the place exactly where it is located. So Nilgiri Biosphere, Nanda Devi, Gulf of Mannar, Norkrek, Sundarbans, Manas, Simplipal, Dihang, Dibang, Panchmari Biosphere. So Run of Kutch, the Great Run of Kutch Biosphere in Gujarat, Cold Desert, the Kanchenjunga. So these are some of the biosphere. 18 biospheres are there in India. These are some the biosphere names and the places where they are found. In this chapter, we'll be mainly focusing on biosphere, that is Panchmari biosphere, the national parks in that, and the wildlife sanctuary in the Panchmari biosphere. Now, what is a national park? It's the area reserved for wildlife. You might have heard about this. There are many national parks in India, around 101 national parks in India. In this place, the animals are allowed to move freely. They are not caged or they are not under any barriers. They are allowed to move freely as they are moving in their own area. And this area is reserved. So, which are the national parks in India? There are 101 national parks, and in the Panchmari biosphere there is a national park known as the Satpura National Park. In the Satpura National Park there are 1300 species of plants. Species means a specific group of plants. There are 1300 species of plants which consist of teak, sal. These are some of the plants that are present in the Satpura National Park. It also has the animals. The flora means the plants and the fauna means the animal. So which are the animals that are in the Satpura National Park? The spotted deer, the Indian bison, the tigers, the leopards, wild boar, wild dog, sloth bear, black bug, the porcupine sambar, it's a deer, Bharsingha, it's also a type of deer, four-horned antelopes, pangolin, marsh crocodile, langurs. So these are some of the animals that are found in Satpura National Park, and here are the names of plants that are found in Satpura National Park. So from here we can see two words, fauna and flora. So what do you mean by flora and fauna? Flora means the plant at a particular area. The flora, the flower, the flora, flower. So the plant. Flora means the plant of a particular area. So in the Panchmari National Park or the Satpura National Park, what you can see, these are the flora that are found there. The sal, the teak, the wild mango, the jamun, the silver fern. These are some of the flora or the plant that are found in the national parks. Satpura National Park. And which are the animals found in the park? The fauna, they are the wild dog, the cheetal, or it is known as the dotted deer, the wolf, the leopard, the blue bull or the nilgai, and the barking deer. So these are some of the animals that are found in the Satpura National Park. Now, there is one more thing known as endemic species. What do you mean by endemic species? There are plants and animals that are found only in this area, means that are found only in this park, in this national park. Which are those endemic species? The endemic flora means the plants that are only found in Panchmari is the sal and the wild mango. These are only found there, the sal and the white mango. And the endemic fauna is bisher, giant squirrel or the flying squirrel. They are mainly or only found in that area or in the Panchmari area only. Now, wildlife sanctuary. What is a wildlife sanctuary? Where the animals are protected, and here you are not allowed to kill or capture or do anything to the animals. They are totally protected. So there are two wildlife sanctuaries, that is Bori and Panchmari. In the Panchmari biosphere, the two wildlife sanctuaries are the Bori and the Panchmari wildlife sanctuaries. Now, in the Panchmari, the tiger is one of the animals that are found in the Panchmari. But what happens with the current situation? The number of tigers have been decreased. So a project Tiger was launched in the year April 1973 by our Prime Minister Indira Gandhi for conserving the tigers, so that they don't get over, these species don't get over. It was mainly for the Bengal tigers. So in this, they were protected in their natural habitat, and the area was also protected so that this species do not get over. So what is the species which are about to get over is known, what are they known as? They are known as the endangered species. Endangered species means the species which are going to be extinct, which are going to be over in the near future. The bears, the koala bears, the cranes, the Asiatic elephant. These are some of the species which are going to be extinct or which are going to get over in very near future. So these are the endangered species. They may get over in the very near future. There are some animals that have become extinct. Extinct means that animal is no more in this ecosystem. So let's see which are the animals that have become extinct. So these are some of the extinct animals. These animals are no more around us. We cannot see such animals as they have become extinct. So this is a species of rhinoceros, this is an island tortoise, and this is a dodo bird. These are some of the animals that have become extinct. There is no organism like that on the earth now. Even we can say of the dinosaurs. There are no dinosaurs left. But there were dinosaurs years ago. So the animals which have become extinct, which are no more in this world, are known as the extinct animals. So from where do we get the information about all the endangered animals? There is a book that has been released by the government that is known as the Red Data Book. In this book, we get the information about all the animals that are endangered and the various detail where they are found and how many are left. That data is been given in the Red Data Book. Now, migration. Migration, what does that word mean? It means to go from one place to another. So there are birds which migrate from one place to another. There are birds, they migrate because the climate at some areas like Siberian crane, the climate at Siberia, when it becomes cold, they come to India for search of a hot climate, a hot place where they can breed or where they can live. So this process of moving from one place to another, this is known as migration, and the birds who migrate such a long distance are known as the migratory birds. These are some of the migratory birds, and when the season is over, they migrate from the place where they have came. For example, I told you about the Siberian crane. They come from Siberia, come to India, and when the climate changes in India, they move back from India to Siberia. So this process of moving from one place to another is known as migration, and the birds who move such a long distance are known as the migratory birds. Now there are two terms that we need to know in this chapter, that is ecosystem and species. What is ecosystem? Ecosystem means all the plants, animals, weather, climate, soil, living and non-living things, the things that are in our surrounding. It's known as the ecosystem. And what is a species? A group of living organism which has similar characters, which have similar capability, and which are capable of interbreeding. So species is a individual group of individual organisms. For example, like I told you, the group of island tortoise, they are a species which are got, they are a group of organisms that have got extinct. So the species is a group of living organism which have similar qualities. The next is about how can we protect our ecosystem, how can we protect our surrounding, how can we prevent all the climatic conditions, all the bad happenings. So first is reforestation. What does reforestation mean? To plant more trees. You might have heard a saying which says, if you cut a tree, plant 3 more trees. So the same, reforestation means planting more and more trees. So it's our duty to plant more and more trees to which help us to conserve the natures, to conserve the ecosystem, and thus help us from all the global warming and all such natural calamities. Now the next is recycle. What do you mean by recycle? Reuse of the paper. You might have heard that 17 full grown trees are required to produce 1 ton of paper. So how many trees have been cut for making paper? So it's our duty not to waste a paper but to recycle it. Nowadays, the newspapers, there are many books that have been made by recycled paper. Your paper can be recycled 5 to 7 times. They are being made by using the newspapers and all. They recycle it. They go through many chemical treatment and they use it in making paper. So we should also recycle paper. We should not waste it but use it in any other thing, or should be given to recycling. There are many companies who do this. So in this chapter we studied about the various way that the government has taken to conserve the nature, how we can conserve the nature, and about the biosphere that is in Panchmari, in Madhya Pradesh. That's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.